Hi, I'm Natalia, and I've prepared a new sewing tutorial for you. This time, I'm going to show you how to make a detachable hood using my pattern. This hood is made from soft knit fabric and ties under the chin with a large bow. The hood is lightly gathered at the base, which gives it a soft, airy volume. You can use any knit fabric for this project. The hood is assembled onto a base, and I added a layer of tulle mesh inside the base to prevent it from stretching during wear. This chiffon insert is almost invisible once the hood is finished. For this delicate fabric, I'm using a Teflon attachment on my steam generator iron. For this project, I'm working with two fabrics. I wanted something soft with a subtle pattern. So I chose a gentle, lightweight knit. I'll also be using a medium weight mesh to stabilize some parts of the pattern. Ideally, I would have found a mesh that matched the color, but it won't be visible anyway. For this design, I'm using my detachable hood pattern with a front placket. I'll be making a few adjustments to the pattern pieces, specifically to the side part and the basis pieces. In the basis template, I'm reducing the hood by 1 centimeter because I want it to fit more closely to the head. I'm also enlarging the basis piece quite a bit because I want to create long ties for the bow. Now let's cut out all our pieces. Next, we'll cut the basis pieces. To do this, I fold the fabric in half and measure upward twice the height of my basis piece, because we will fold this detail in half later. My piece is 9 centimeters tall, including seam allowances, so I'm marking 18 centimeters. I want a thick base, but you can adjust this measurement to your preference. Then I draw straight lines all the way down to the end of the fabric. These will become the long ties for the hood. We now have the following pieces: 4 side part pieces, left and right sides, 2 center pieces, one placket piece, and one large basis piece. We only need the chiffon mesh to stabilize 2 pieces, the basis and the placket. Let's start assembling the hood. Take the 2 center pieces and place them wrong sides together, with the right sides facing outward. Next, take the right side of the hood and pin it to the right side of the center piece. Then place the left side of the hood on top, with the right side facing the centerpiece. Sew this sandwich together using your seam allowance width. I stitch very carefully along the pins because the fabric is very soft and unstable. Turn the piece right side out and remove the pins. One side of the hood is now finished. Pin the center placket to the other side of the hood. Be careful not to mix up the pieces. Right side to right side is the key rule here. Pin everything securely once more and sew along the edge using your seam allowance width. Turn the hood right side out. You'll see that one seam is still open. Finish both seams on the overlock. My fabric frays a lot, so I prefer to serge the edges. It also gives the inside a much neater look. Next, I turn the hood right side out again and make a basting stitch to help shape everything neatly before pressing and securing it. I make the basting stitch on the side, where both layers of the hood are already closed. Next, take the centerpiece that is still unstitched. Fold the seam allowance and pin it evenly along the entire length. Then I sew the centerpiece by hand using a hidden stitch. I really love doing this kind of handwork. Do you? Attaching the placket. Place the chiffon mesh piece on the wrong side of the placket so that the chiffon is sandwiched inside. Find the center of the placket and pin it. Next, find the center of the top of the hood . First, pin the center of the placket, then the ends, and distribute the rest evenly along the entire length. Sew with a machine. I decided to trim the seam allowance thickness. To do this, I carefully cut about 2 to 3 millimeters from the seam line. Press all the seams. Also, press the seam allowance. In our case, it's 1 centimeter. Pin the placket evenly along the entire length. I sew the placket to the hood with a hidden stitch, tucking all the seam allowances inside. Attaching the bases. Take the bases piece and place the previously cut chiffon mesh on top. Mine has a seam because the piece wasn't long enough. Pin it in place since the fabric is very soft. Trim any excess. Find the center of the bases. And mark 27 centimeters to the right and to the left from the center. This measurement comes from the basis pattern and varies depending on the size. First, pin center to center. Then pin the left and right ends of the hood. Gather the remaining fabric into small folds and distribute evenly along the entire length. Sew with a machine, using the seam allowance. Next, take the ends of the bases and pin them to the beginning of the hood. Mark even lines for the machine stitching. It's important to check that both ends of the bases are even. Sew with the machine. Carefully trim the corners and turn the hood right side out. Smooth out the ends of the bases with your hands. Finally, fold the seam allowance and sew it by hand using a hidden stitch. And our detachable hood is finished. Please give this video